So Tyler, the Creator, is releasing his new album, Don't Tap the Glass, in a few days, which is just crazy to think about. I did a video yesterday just going over all the news, but I have some theories I want to talk about in today's video, and I'll get into my theories as to why I think this album is actually a mixtape. And I don't think it's going to be a full deep concept record like a Chromacopia, like a Igor, whatever the case may be. I actually think this is going to be a lot more deconstructed and a lot more simple and just Tyler just rapping. I think it's just going to be hard beats, Tyler rapping. And I think my video from yesterday had some thoughts in the comments, which I'm always glad to see people theorizing in the comments for new records. Tyler videos always do well on this channel, and I love just having conversations with you guys in the comments. So please leave your thoughts in the comments down below. I'd love to talk about it with you guys. And yeah, a lot of people in the comments were maybe saying, you know, looking deep into it, and that's good. I think we should look deep into it. Tyler is an artist. He is a true artist, and I think we should look deep into what certain things mean. But from my stance, I actually don't think this record is going to be that deep, and I don't think there's going to be as much things to really dive into as a Chromacopia, because that was such a deep record. But I also saw a lot of people saying in the comments down below that you know, this is going to be a straight rap album, and I agree with that. I think people, I saw one comment saying that, or a couple of comments actually saying that this was going to be like That Guy, which he released, and I'll get into that later in the video. So I agree with that. I also saw people saying like Maxo Cream's Crack 15, which Tyler produced. He's been producing for Maxo Cream a little bit. He's produced a few songs for him in the last couple of years. It might be in that vein, and I could see that definitely happening. So yeah, I think people also agree with me that this is going to be a rapping album. So let's get into it, my theories on why I think this is going to be more similar to a mixtape than an actual full-fledged album like a Flower Boy back there. So let's get into it. So the first piece of information I'm going to go off of is actually a snippet we have from maybe the album, maybe just a little teaser, but it's Tyler talking in this vocoder voice, and I posted the clip on this channel in a short form content piece, and you can go check that out. But he basically says none of that deep shit. He's talking about maybe certain tracks on the record, Leave the Baggage at Home, Body Movement, which could be the intro for the album, but he says none of that deep shit. And this makes me think that maybe this record isn't going to be that deep. You know, Chromacopia was very personal, very deep record, probably his most personal, his most mature writing wise. And I think that maybe this record is actually not going to be that deep. You know, there's obviously going to be a lot of theories within the fandom of Tyler fans talking about like different theories. I've seen some in my comment section about how this maybe could be the Welcome to the Disco album that he was teasing a few years ago. Maybe that's the case, maybe not, but I actually think that this album's not going to be that deep. With the fact that this is on such short notice and we just got Chromacopia, I really think this is going to be more of like a GNX by Kendrick Lamar. That's what the reference point for this record that I'm going into would be. I think it's going to be, you know, definitely more of an album. And when I say mixtape, I don't mean exactly like a shorter track list. I think it's an album. Tyler even said that himself, but I think it's going to be more similar to a mixtape in the fact that maybe it's not that deep. There's not a huge concept to go based off of. There's not like super deep writing we can go into. It's more going to be just braggadocious rapping, Tyler rapping on different beats, and similar to That Guy as well. He dropped a few months ago, That Guy. I think it could be similar to that, you know, not too deep. And he says that in the snippet, none of that deep shit. So I think that means something to me. Who knows, maybe it's just he's just talking, but I think that's a big clue as to what this album's going to be like. None of that deep shit. I think we should remember that, and when we go into this record. And the other piece that I'm going to talk about that could relate to maybe this record being more of a mixtape and not a big concept album, I think it's the fact that he is still on tour for Chromacopia. He literally has a show in Montreal the day after the album releases. So he's still touring Chromacopia. He is still promoting that record and visualizing that record in a live space. So that makes me think that Chromacopia is the big album. That is the big album he dropped. And people are still going to be like, that's his big album right now. And Don't Tap the Glass is maybe a little bit more of like a side quest, I guess is the word, and maybe more of, again, a mixtape. It's not as deep as Chromacopia. Chromacopia is like the big IMAX movie. It's like the Avengers. You go see that in the theaters, and then maybe Don't Tap the Glass is like the smaller budget, like Apple TV type of movie, something like that. I guess that's kind of the comparison I'm going for. But Again, it's tough to say exactly with Tyler, and I'll talk about maybe some more things as why I think this is a mixtape, but there is actually some evidence to counteract that, because on Tyler's Instagram, he did actually post something that is quite interesting and maybe could contradict exactly what I'm saying. So he posted a picture of that statue at his Brooklyn show where he did actually announce the album, and that was when everything was coming out, and he said, "New chapter, new world, new shit. You know what it is. Don't tap the glass." So this, I think, can maybe counteract what I'm saying, because he says new character and new world. So that would obviously indicate to me that, you know, maybe this is actually a deeper concept within the record. New world, new character. There's maybe something deeper here, but maybe that new world and that new character is actually quite simple, and it's not as deep as a Flower Boy or an Igor, and there's not a big concept. He has a certain character design and maybe some aesthetics he wants to present with this new world, but as far as the album, it's not super conceptual or super deep. So again, it's tough to say. We'll have to see when the album actually comes out, but I do think that this isn't going to be as grand or as big as a Chromacopia or an Igor. I think this is going to be a lot more simple, and the fact that like the aesthetic on the album is kind of this rapper figure, and obviously Tyler's a rapper, so it's going to be a rap album. I know he's done Igor and Flower Boy, but he is a rapper at the end of the day, so it's going to be a rap album, a hip-hop album regardless. But the fact that he has like this big gold chain, he has kind of this muscular pose that kind of reminds me of like a Ludacris or even like a 50 Cent. Even the aesthetics for this record kind of reminds me of like early 50 Cent, like Get Rich or Die Trying type of aesthetics that he's presenting. So I think it's going to be a straight rap album. I think it's going to be hard beats and just rapping, maybe not even a lot of like choruses or catchy stuff. It's just going to be Tyler talking his shit and really just going into that braggadocious area, similar to Call Me If You Get Lost, but maybe even deconstructing it even more, because Call Me If You Get Lost kind of had a aesthetic with like a love triangle and kind of a concept with that, and you got your songs like Sweet Sweet, I Thought You Wanted to Dance, and Rise. So there were moments on that record that were kind of a bit more grand and maybe not as deep rapping. But if we get more songs like Lumberjack or That Guy, just Tyler just rapping, I'm super down. I'm down for that, and I'm down for that kind of aesthetic to be presented and that sound to be presented in this record, because Tyler has accomplished so much. He deserves his flowers, and I think he should be able to just be braggadocious. And also, we can look at the titles for some of these songs: Body Movement, No Sitting Still. That indicates to me that it's going to be a very aggressive album, and maybe an album made for like the mosh pits or just maybe like working out, something like that. So I think we're gonna be in for a pretty aggressive album from Tyler, not similar to Flower Boy, not similar to Igor, where it's kind of more R&B and maybe more chill and kind of, you know, that kind of sound. I think this is going to be a pretty aggressive album, like a Lumberjack, or even maybe like a New Magic Wand, where it is aggressive. That body movement, no sitting still, to me indicates that. And again, we don't have too much to go based off of. I've said that a lot in this video. We just have that snippet that I was talking about, the vocoder, leave that deep shit at home, or whatever he said, and body movement, no sitting still. So that's my thoughts. That's my theories. Not too much more to say as far as what this album's going to look like, because we'll just have to wait. And it's only Monday, so I don't think we're going to get a huge rollout like we did for Chromacopia, where we can really dissect every single teaser he's putting out. I think we're just going to have to really just, you know, wait for the album. And it's not a long wait at all. It's just, it's coming up in the few days. And I want to know why or when this album's actually going to release, because we know it's July 21st, but is it going to be at midnight on Sunday, or is it going to be in the morning on Monday? Because I know Tyler likes to release albums in the morning and not have people stay up. He wants people to wake up and listen to it, and I think that's cool. I'd be down for that, maybe a Monday morning album. So we'll see what ends up happening. Let me know, what are your thoughts? What are your theories for this record? Leave it in the comments down below. Peace.